what we like to get into a little bit more into, like, for instance, how are we going to stay in touch with each other? How do we know we're around? How do we work together globally, internationally? I mean, we're not everywhere at the same time, in the same spot, like we're now with 11, 12 friends from several parts of the world. Will that be still possible? Will there be air traffic interruptions? I guess yes, for a little while. Will this resume? Can you take us, the Radiant Zone people, with a positive outlook who are at work already in this sense, through our, say, parallel future, how we do all this?
I believe that it'll all eventually get to the point where we shed such things as airlines, airplanes, airports, etc., but not global communication or global transport. So whatever the new electrics are, they bring to us the ability to take our destiny into our own hand, if you will. That given the new electric basic core, an individual could decide that they were going to build themselves. For instance, I might decide I'm going to stick my new electric anti-gravity engine in my boat. And so I might just actually float my boat over to a lake and settle it down in Germany and sit and chat with you.
That's great. This is very good what you're saying, because that goes to the idea that the reporter of the future, Clif High, becomes the creator of the future. That answers that other question. I feel it is quite okay that we who are thinking together about this future are actually just simply doing it.
Yes, exactly. I'm tired of simply writing about it. I need to get my hands in there and get them dirty and make some of it, because I want that boat. I want that boat that can go and sail
and I want my solar-powered plane.
There you go. Only it won't be solar-powered, because you'll be able to get energy right from the creation of the templates, and it'll probably be in something about the size of a grain of sand, with maybe a little box, a few centimeters on either side, to allow you to make the connections to physical reality. So we won't even actually have to worry about solar power per se. It'll be a much more elegant system in that regard. And in fact, it might even get to the point where it has some interface to your mind, a la the TARDIS in Doctor Who. And so it's going to be, it may even be that we might even consider these devices to be alive, because they'll be tapping energy directly from consciousness. It's just going to be cool as hell. Unfortunately, we got to get all of these old thinkers out of the way and tell them to, stop bugging us while we get on with things.
That's the point. I'm glad you see that. This is what I also said in my book about the crystal slates. We can go a little bit into crystal and gold if you want. I have one question that came up here as a follow-up towards the end of our talk here. What is the impact of the entertainment, quote-unquote, entertainment part of your reports that is growing within the masses? Are you aware of this?
Oh, yes, I am. And I've taken, in spite of its appearance, otherwise, I take a great deal of time and energy to pick out the appropriate words based on the understanding of how they will ripple out and the effect that they will cause, not only on my own processing later on, but also on that part of humanity. Because I'm not attempting to be a Stephen King, for instance, and write a horror novel in a weird form. Rather, what I'm attempting to do, as I say, is to do a sightseeing throw. And in a sightseeing throw, I'm trying to throw, for instance, in Aikido, there's the uke and the nage, the person that does the attacking and then the person that does the throw. And so I'm allowing the unenlightened masses of the planet to attack, and I'm going to throw them by showing them certain correct things in a sequence, and in an entertaining way, and that is to say, involve them to where it shifts over from entertainment to fun, so to speak. Fun activity is something you go out and do, whereas an entertainment might be something you sit and watch. And I'm going to attempt with my work to bridge that gap and bring a number of the people that are currently just observers into the fun part of it, where they throw themselves into the new future, if you will. And along the way, we just have to give them enough information to tell them where to roll so as not to injure themselves. Make sense?
This makes sense. This is very, very beautifully said, because we here look at it, of course, not as entertainment. We feel this is very serious work we're doing. However, we also see the fun in this, because we want to do our serious work, including having our own transportations with the new electrics, etc. But this all becoming fun and something that some of us have been waiting a long time for to break through. So I just
all of our whole lives, you and I, unfortunately, were in that particular part of the generational separation where most of our lives have been spent in waiting probably because universe needed us to wait and learn, but we've been waiting, and I'm tired of that waiting. It's time for action.
Great. I think I would like to thank you so much for this whole talk, for your time at this moment. I think we're back to where we were at the beginning, and I have maybe one more question, and that is from Lori, who actually sort of manages our zone. Hold on one second.
Hi, Cliff. Nice to talk to you today.
Hello?
Hi, Cliff. This is Lori. It's very wonderful to speak with you today.
Thank you very much.
I'm curious if you're aware of the work of Nassim Haramein.
Oh, Haramein? Sure. I've listened to about 12 hours of material, as well as read some stuff both that he's written and others have written about his work. Yes.
Oh, okay, good. That saves a lot of explaining. Are you aware that he presented a paper at a physics conference in Belgium very recently that won a Best Paper Award at that conference?
No, of this I'm not aware. The last time I had any contact with his material was perhaps 6 months ago.
Okay, he has written a mathematical explanation. There's a very short video available online that if you don't get too focused on the mathematics of it and you just listen to the process, he has proven mathematically that the mass of the universe exists in every atom of the universe because every atom is connected.
Sure, the holonomy. This was described in the Vedic scriptures, probably first written maybe 9,000 years ago, and they called it Indra's net, in which each particle of the net reflected all other particles.
And so that concept combined with the idea that consciousness creates reality, do you have any thoughts on those two ideas combined?
I actually think that Nassim is a very brilliant fellow, and the linguistics that he used are elegant. They're crystalline and pure. I would very much like not to ignore his math, because I suspect that his mathematics is also very pure, and I think that he's probably very accurate. And indeed, he may be, and I didn't know about this paper, and technically we're not into fall, but our data suggested that the new electric foundation, that is to say the fundamental discoveries, would be announced this fall, and it may indeed be that we're looking at just the discovery itself. You may have specifically focused on the event that will later on mature into 2013, and that I had said fall, and it was only vaguely associated with it in the sense that it was perhaps past midsummer. But I've often wondered if Nassim Haramein is going to be the pivotal point thinker that brings the new electric into existence, in spite of the fact that the powers that be have been hiding their success at the mechanization of the new electrics for these past 60 years. We're going to discover it independently, put a human spin on it, a Terran human spin on it, and develop this stuff independently on our own. And indeed, you may have found just the perfect person. So I would really watch him, especially over the course of the month of November.
I agree. He's incredible. Very well spoken and very elegant way of speaking, and with humor, and easily explains very difficult concepts. Very patiently explains also. And just to clarify, I was in no way suggesting we ignore his mathematics. Just for the wider general audience, please do not be afraid to try to absorb what he has to share, because it's well worth any time invested in listening. And often it helps to listen more than once, although he speaks for lengthy periods of time, so an 8-hour speech listened to several times it's an investment of time.
Yeah, but well worth it, as you say. He reminds me a lot of probably the new generation Buckminster Fuller.
Oh,
just the method of his delivery and so on.
Yes, definitely. Thank you, Cliff.
Most welcome. glad I could comment on it. I wish I could meet the fellow in person and we could sit down and share some pie.
I think we need to invite
We can do that. We will. You know, Cliff, this is Michael again. We are going to do everything we can in this little group in our ways without commenting more on this in order to bring all this about that we have been talking about as to the solutions, the positive, proactive pieces of actions that we have to take, that each one must do in his field of expertise or with his network capacities or with her abilities, that everyone comes together, not necessarily that everybody comes at one time in the same spot, but that we network, that we visit each other, and just that we generally do everything to support our activities to bring about the changes that we have all been talking about and writing about for so long and predicting, etc. So we are all here for a proactive management of getting on with it and doing it. So
also,
anyway,
we have to. I need to intrude and say that we are actually on my end of things doing that as well. And one of the concrete examples I've got of that is that I personally have set aside all thoughts of recompense and patents and all of that kind of stuff for not only the work that I've done so far, but work that I'll do in the future. And as a positive example, I have an individual that has contacted me who has worked. He's been fired recently from Microsoft because of their layoffs. He's a very accomplished programmer, and he has taken the Crop Swirl program to the next level and will soon have a version available for $19.95, I think he's going to price it, that will allow people to spin in 3 dimensions. And it is truly an amazing bit of work, and I'm going to start promoting his work on my site. And as people contact me with this kind of stuff, I'm not of the opinion that it's my idea, that there's ownership. And we need to disabuse individuals and get people out of their monkey mind so that they start to become cooperative as opposed to competitive. And it's like, ooh, I can't wait to see his program and use it. Of course I'm going to promote it. Let my effort fall by the wayside. His is so much better and more clean, Let's get it done.
This is very well said, because we need to be using this idea of open source and help make things available and work in that direction. I just wanted to thank you so much for all your time and everything you've been sharing with us. I feel that from our end at the moment, we're done. We had 2 hours with you, and we're very grateful for that.
Yeah, anytime, sir. I'm ever so happy to talk with you. I always gain, and I will think about this for many hours and will get many insights over the course of the day, so it has been well worth the time.
Thank you so much, Cliff. Do you have anything else that you wanted to share with us at the end now?
Blackberry season here in the U.S. I don't know what you guys have there, but make a couple of pies and sit and think.
Well, we had our friend from France here. He came from the French side of the Lake of Geneva, and guess what? He brought blueberry pies that he did.
Ooh, lovely, lovely.
He picked them hours before he came here, and he also cooked here. He's also a carpenter who may help do this Radiant Zone. He has studied avionics, and he was actually in an engineering career, so we have some interesting fellows and ladies here.
Well, I was going to say, for the Frenchmen, just to let them know, my lineage goes back to Normandy, to the Duvalier, and that's probably why I like pies.
Thank you very, very much, Cliff. It was a real great pleasure. Thank you so much for everything, okay?
Okay, we'll talk to you in the future. Bye.
Yes, bye-bye. Bye.
Bye, guys. Talk to you later.
Bye.